Hello everyone, this is Amy with Simply Elizabeth Crafts, and I have a card that I'm going to make you. This is actually the last card that I'm going to show you from my May in-person class, because the last card, the fourth card of that, was this one, which I had already created for you. I just have a different designer series paper in the background and then different colors for these flowers here, but the rest of it's the same as one I've already created, so I'm not going to redo that one for you, but I do have one more new one to show, and it is using the Relaxing Waterside. This is probably one of my favorites in the new catalog for May to August. So it is a stamp set, and those are your stamps, images, and then it does come with a coordinating die set as well. And then a really cool thing is that this month's paper pumpkin is coordination with that as well. And I'm going to grab those cards real quick. I dropped that one. So these are the 3 cards that you create. Let's see if I can get into the view there. So these are the 3 cards, how you make them from the kit. You'll make 3 of each from the paper pumpkin kit. Of course, I always do 1 of how it's supposed to be. Sometimes I switch it up a little bit, like this one. I need some more birthday cards, so I didn't do one of the sentiments that's about like the Father's Day, so I did another happy birthday, but everything else is the same on it, and I really like it. So then of course I made some alternatives, which are these 2 here, and so I will have videos for these 2. I am thinking I'm going to probably go live and do these 2 together with y'all, so be on the lookout. I'll have information on that Friday, so which is tomorrow, or if you're watching this tomorrow, it'll be May the 22nd. Okay, all right, so let's get started with our our one project that we're going to do, and it's this one right here. I wanted something simple, but I wanted it to be rustic, but also at the same time have the blue, because when you think of a retreat or a water, you know, it's kind of the lake theme. So that's why I chose that. And at first I wasn't so sure about the color combination of it, but I'll be honest with you, I have fallen in love with that whole combination there. So let's put our card together, and there is a blog post for this, so you just can go right over to my website, which is simplyelizabethcrafts.com, and that will have the measurements for you and the products that are used, so you'll get all of that. All right, so we're going to put this on our inside, so we're just going to put adhesive on the edges. I use a lot of adhesive, so I was trying to find a way that I could cut back just a little bit. And I found for your inside, you really don't catch this at all. And so just having it on those edges, I think, is just fine. So that's just why I do that. All right, so then we've got our crumb cake here. And we are going to take and put our designer series paper here, and you're going to see it's going to have a border around it, okay? So it's not to the edges. It's just a little smaller than that crumb cake. This is the other side of that designer series paper, which is beautiful too. I love this designer series paper. And now I've drawn a blank as to the name. I think it's something Melody. No, that could be wrong. Anyway, just look at the description or the list of products used on the blog. So, okay, we are going to do our chair. So we're going to actually stamp our chair in pecan pie, or pecan pie, however you say it. We're just going to stamp it down right here. Okay. Then we're going to set that aside for just a second, as we're going to let that dry. We're going to come to this piece here, and we're going to stamp our sentiment, and it is "Today is your day." And because this is crumb cake, you could stamp it in pecan pie if you wanted, but I thought I'd add in a little bit more brown to kind of go with the card base. So we're going to do early espresso, and we're going to come down right about here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do want to make sure that I do have it level, so I'm going to stamp it upside down only because I'm on a video. And see, I didn't even do that. Oh no. Okay, we are going to take it off and we're going to flip it because that's what we're good at. And I'm just going to leave this little mistake here so you can see it. So let's try that again. And before we put the paper on, let's see if I can get it this way. Well, that's still crooked. So maybe I need to move it down further. Let's see if I can do it when I'm hovering over it like this. Okay, there we go. Sometimes it's just, you know, a little extra. And look, I've got the paper on my arm. I guess that's a good way to keep it from sticking to other paper. So I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive on the back just to kind of make sure. And now we're going to cover that up. So again, it's just got that little bit of border. See if I can get it straight. Ta-da. Okay. Apparently everything just needs to be angled for me. All right, we're going to close this up. Then I'm going to grab my crumb cake. This is the light crumb cake Stampin' Blend. And we are going to color in our chair. And the reason I did light was because I didn't really want the pecan pie. I felt like it would kind of make it all blend together. And so you wouldn't really have your outline of your slats for your chair. And so I just felt like it was a little too dark. Now, if you wanted, you could always do light pecan pie, which it wouldn't be as bad as doing the dark. But I felt crumb cake also kind of helps it make it look like sun. You know, it's been in the sun because, you know, sun makes wood fade colors. And it, you know, makes all your furniture fade in color too. So anyway, that's kind of what I was thinking. Whether that is correct or not, I don't know. But it is crafting, so we get to pick whatever we want to do, right? You don't have to follow reality with our crafting. We can kind of change it up and make it whatever we want. All right, so let's do that. And we're almost getting there. Sorry, you have to listen to me talk while I do it, right? And now when I move fast with coloring, it makes that noise. I'm not a big fan of it. The noise from the blend. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of come in some of the areas and just make it, add one extra little coat, give it another layer, which will make it just a little darker in those areas. All right, I think this will be just fine. All right, perfect. Now I'm gonna cut this out and I'm gonna bring in my cut and emboss machine. So I'll bring that in. I'll grab my paper from underneath. Just like that. And then we're gonna grab those dies. And I think I've been playing around with this set because I think it's gonna be probably a club coming up as well. So I wasn't sure if this die was on there or not. Now my plates are kind of old, so I'm gonna line it up and I'm gonna put some tape on here just to make sure it holds it in place. But if you are like me, I use my plates until they literally start cracking and cannot be used anymore. And I'm not sure why. They're not horribly expensive. But I would rather buy new products than plates. I want more fun stuff to play with. All right, so there we go. We'll set that aside. And then let me put that over there so I don't lose it. Okay, let's take our linen thread. And I am gonna say, I feel like linen thread is really kind of the only ribbon right now. We just this week got to see what our July online exclusives will be. And there is some really pretty ribbon in there, so that's gonna be fun. Because right now I feel like linen thread, I mean, there's a couple good ones, but I feel like I'm using the same ones over and over right now. So it'll be good to have a little bit more variety. Okay, so we've got that. We're gonna take our scissors and we're gonna cut this. I'm just gonna try to make it even as possible. There we go. Then we're gonna take some mini dimensionals and we're gonna put them on the back. And the reason I'm doing many is because I need to get them right here in these areas. So it makes it a little easier to just use the minis. There, and we'll do one there. And then let's do one right here. Okay, and actually, just because they're minis, I'm gonna put another one there. And I'm okay with the legs. You can, if you want to cut, you can trim the edge. We might do that. Let's just do that. All right, so I've got the edges here, and these are kind of a skinny edge. So we can cut and cut, and then we'll take that edge and stick it here. And then we'll take this one and put it there. And that'll keep the legs working. Okay, so then we're gonna stick this right here. Real simple and easy. Just relaxing in the water. You know, when people put their little beach chairs out, it's kind of what that reminded me of. And then we're gonna come over here. We're gonna see my mistake on the back. Yay! We're gonna go with our regular dimensionals on this one. We're gonna put 3 at the top, 3 in the middle, and we'll put 3 on the bottom. Sometimes in crafting, third time is the charm. Well, usually for me it is. Sometimes I just scrap it all together and start over completely. Okay, so there's that. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to add those, and I, for some reason, had put them back up. So, yep, here we go. So these are really pretty ones. These are good masculine embellishments. They're called Earthy Matte Dots, and these are really cute. You could even do the blue if you wanted to. I think the blue coordinates with it pretty well. But we're gonna do the pecan pie ones and match the chair. So we're gonna put one up here, maybe. There we go, we'll put one there. We'll put a big one right here, and we'll put another little one right there. Okay, there we go. There is our third card from my in-person class for May. I will have, of course, again, that blog post will be up for you on Friday, so you can get all the measurements. The other thing is, there is going to be a reel for this one, so you'll have a video that you can walk through very quickly within a minute or less. So that if you don't like to hear my talking, or you don't necessarily want to see the whole thing, or you want to go back and you just want to see a quick after you've watched this video, that's fine too. But all of that will be on the blog too, so that you can pull those up. But thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.